Hello. I've just been inspired to share some thoughts on reading and writing, really. I'm currently reading a book, and it's an introduction to political philosophy. It's a slim volume at about 200 pages, and it's an introductory text for undergraduates. In fact, I discovered it by doing a search to find out what's recommended for that cohort. Because I don't know anything about the topic. I'm interested in politics, and it's been a subject I've always wanted to learn about. And when I got this book, I was so excited to read it. It's actually really well written. I'll provide the actual book in the description. Um, and it's the kind of book that doesn't come up, you don't come across often. Occasionally, every few books, you might come across something where you're really excited to read. You'll read it slowly just to savor it. You'll put off social engagements just to spend more time with it. And it really got me thinking about the power of books like this, that are thought provoking, that really change the way you look at the world that you're familiar with through a totally different prism. Um, it really forces me to ask thought provoking questions, and pose questions that I've kind of always wanted to think through the answers of. How did we end up with the type of government and governance and politics that we've got here today? What are the merits and limitations of a democracy? What alternative forms of government are there, and what are their merits? What are their limitations? What are some of the ethics around um, what governments can and can't do, and what is the right way to live in a community, in a society? So, it's early stages, but I'm really excited to read it. And as I say, I think spending some time reading and learning about subjects like this, I think it really does open the I suppose the world to me, and makes me look at the familiar things that we take for granted through in a totally different way. And I think being interested in the world makes you a more interesting person. You're able to connect with different people. You're able to learn to ask more interesting questions. So there, there's knowledge, and acquiring knowledge and studying for its own sake, of course. But in a way, it does make me think that actually, by doing so, we and others are better off for it. We're better for it, and the other people we're around are better for it, because I suppose it makes us, so long as we make the effort to connect with other people, and better able to see different points of view. And this kind of brings me to writing. This year, I've been the most productive I have been in terms of reading, but also in writing. Writing, I've always written. I've always kind of been a writer of some sort, and I've always enjoyed it. Even as a child, I would construct these kind of booklets, and I would do all the illustrations, and I'd string the pieces of paper together, and they'd basically be my own makeshift books. And they were these beautiful products. Really, I really wish I'd still kept them. And fast forward to now, I'm trying to write more poetry. I've always kept a diary of some sort. I've always been interested in words and writing, and I'm trying to become more disciplined with it. I've just turned 32, and one of my resolutions, not that birthdays necessarily come with resolutions, nor that anybody necessarily needs to have resolutions, but one thing that I've set myself to do is to actually start writing a novel. I'm not going to share yet what it's about, because it would just end up being a jumbled assemblage of words, because I've got some central ideas in my head. I've begun to do a bit of research, but I've got it in me. I've got when I'm walking around or on the bike or something, I get various connected thoughts to the central to the rough central idea, and so I know there's something there, but it's something I'd like to lean into. And with writing, what I've noticed is that it's made me better able to articulate my thoughts. It's not something I'm perfect at. In part, doing these videos is a way for me to strengthen that skill, to strengthen that muscle. Um, but it's something I've enjoyed. It's something that I've seen the benefit of. And when I write things down, it's almost a way for me to kind of think through a topic, think through a subject that I'm uncertain and unsure about how to articulate or what to make of it. So it's a really good habit, it's a really good exercise. And that too is a form of discovering about the world around me. Once I sit down and write something, I'm sometimes surprised by the kind of conclusions that I make about a particular topic. So yeah, I just wanted to share those quick thoughts. Not everything that I've said may necessarily come off as lucid, but yeah, I was inspired to share these quick thoughts, and I'll hopefully do some more videos sharing more ideas with respect to things that I've read, and the novel that I'm writing, the book that I'm writing, whatever it may end up becoming, an essay, I don't know, as I become more confident in the idea. So yeah, thank you.